Yogiraj Siddhanath is a living master who, with the blessings of his Guru, has dedicated his life to the science of emotional and physical reset. His sadhana and mastery in this study can help bring about this change in life, rejuvenating the mind and the physical body to its true potential. Born in 1944 in the solar dynasty of Ikshvaku Ram, he used to go into spontaneous enlightened states from the age of 3. After finishing his education, his spiritual calling took him to the Himalayas to pursue a life of a yogi. His real transformation happened when he was graced by a vision of Mahavatar Babaji, the Supreme Spirit incarnate and the source of all Kriya Yoga knowledge. Since then, he has healed and transformed millions all over the world with his transmissions of pure Shakti energy. His unique gift is in simplifying the essence of Kriya Yoga in a way that all can understand and benefit from. Yogiraj is dedicated to the furthering of human awareness for earth peace healing through self-peace healing. Join Yogiraj to help restore balance in your body, mind and soul.
Sadguru, what is the role of keeping this body healthy, eating correctly, exercising? What role does it play in spirituality?
Man is composed of two things, or the being, the self and the not self. The self is the Atma and the not self is all the rest. Your body, your emotions, your richness, your name, your fame, your beautiful dresses, you yourself in flesh and bone sitting here, your physical guru sitting here, he is also the not self. Although he is ultimately the embodiment of the self. Because if you keep staring at and focus on him, he will break down from energy, from Prithvi to Parjanya, and then become subtler to Pavak, fire, then Pavan, air, then Pran, life force energy, then Pradnya, the divine light of Buddhi, and then Paramatma himself. That is the composition of the septenary man. The septenary man is God, and God is the septenary man. It's a holistic process. And we must make all efforts to get to our parent source, which we variously call the self, Khuda. खुद खुदी को कर इतना बुलंद के हर तकदीर के पहले खुद खुदा बंदे से पूछे बोल तेरी रजा क्या है. तो ऐसी विल पावर जब चलेगी तो भगवान क्यों नहीं आएगा तुम्हारे पास? He will come. You see, there is the true self and the apparent self. How do we know? Because if you put the true and the apparent self in the fire, the apparent self will burn to ashes and the true self will shine in its radiance. That is the difference. But the purpose of the apparent self, that is your physical, emotional and mental body, is this: you must keep it pure and healthy and strong, because the true self is God, but the apparent self is a temple of God. And if you don't keep the temple of God, that is your physical and emotional body, clear and healthy and strong, then God will not reside there for long and your body will fall into temptation. It is very important, because the physical body at the end of the journey of life is the launching pad of the spiritual body called the soul. Therefore, even I do it. You must exercise regularly, you must have a proper diet. Therefore, you must keep the physical body fit and healthy and in harmony with the spiritual body, so that when it's time to go, जब अंत समय आया तो क्या, तो उस time the physical body should cooperate, be in a still condition of good health and well-being, and then the soul will go. But in the Advait Vedant, there is no difference between the true self and the apparent self. Only in relativity it is there. Great yogis and masters like Shivoraksha Babaji, who you call Mahavatar Babaji, Sambandhar, Ramalinga Swami, Raja Sundarnath, all the Ashtachiranjeevs, they have all transformed, not only got moksha, but they have transformed their physical bodies into light. They have transformed their physical bodies into energy, and then from energy into subtle essences, then into light, and light into consciousness. They have done that. It can be done, but then you have to come as a very, very big alchemist, a past life master of masters. That is called the alchemy of total transformation. But what today's people of health, you see, if they are running meditation and yoga classes and also giving advice on diet, counseling on a good diet, a healthy life, and a sound meditation, those people who give advice and counsel, they must move into this system of yoga, drawing from the ancient systems. They must give such diet which is congenial with the circadian rhythms of the earth. Jamun ke season pe jamun khao, mango season you eat mangoes, orange season you eat oranges, and then they give you shortcuts that your life should be healthy, free from disease, decay and death as far as possible. They are not saying that you want to make you immortal, but in their subconscious, if you do become, hurrah, viva, that's what we want. So the more athletic you are and the more healthy you make your mind, which is nothing but your grosser self. In the Advaita Vedanta philosophy, your physical body is your frozen Atma. And if you gradually keep doing Kriya and looking at the sun, then that body shall be transformed into light. Why not? According to the law of conservation of mass into energy, matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but only transformed. And therefore, this matter is transformed from matter to light. Light is the subtlest form of matter in relativity, and matter is the grossest form of light in relativity. So respect your body, respect matter and the diet. The only thing that we go do in the Advaita Vedanta philosophy, or what I believe, is that even light can be transformed into enlightened light and then into consciousness and God. And we take the support of the greatest of all master of master and king of kings, the Adi Guru Shankaracharya. And many people have placed some of the greatest of philosophers. And Acharya Rajneesh, he was an ancient philosopher. I don't know the yogic part, but he said, if we were to choose from all the saints in the world, which four greatest would we choose? And I think he was talking with Sumitranandan Pant, who was another great yogi. So he said, मैं तो ऐसे करूंगा, इनको delete करूंगा और इनको लूंगा, I'll take him. So he named four. He said, Krishna, Buddha, Mahavir, and Adi Shankaracharya. So he said, nahi, Mahavir fits into Buddha. But there's one person which we can never, these people were all cut diamonds, but there's a huge diamond underground who nobody even knows about, and that is Gorak. I can't leave Gorak. And if there was two, then also he said Krishna and Gorak. But he said the highest pinnacle of knowledge given to us, pure spiritual knowledge, is the Adi Guru Shankaracharya and Gorakhnath. Krishna also gave his philosophy, Buddha also gave his philosophy. At the highest peak and point of no return, they say the identical thing: nothing. It's all experience, and the experience of Kaivalya is the same to all.
Sadgurunath, you've mentioned earlier that when we are in the ashram, it's like being in Satyug. We definitely know and we feel that even as we start approaching the ashram, something just changes. It feels very different than being in Bombay.
The mind starts getting very, very calm.
Yes, so it's a good question. He says when you're outside in the humdrum of daily life, the mind is agitated and a mild subconscious tension prevails in the mind. But when we come to the ashram, the nervous system and the mind automatically lets go into a state of relaxation. And not only that, there is a slight feeling of a yoga nidra, a pleasant, joyous, drowsy state, which we can say it's like a mild euphoria. It's the correct way to describe it. And you feel you're walking in a dream here. This is, I will explain to you, the whole world is nothing but vibration. At the ashram, there are three types of vibrations, predominantly sattva, a little bit of rajo, and none or little of tamogun. So these guns are subatomic particles which are floating around, and also waves of light which have been refined to a higher degree by years and years of the resident Sadguru, who is meditating here night and day. So not only human beings will be affected, their nerves will be soothed and their mind will become calm, but also the trees, the sap of the trees, their nerves will be soothed and their minds will become calm. So it is a question of vibrations. If these peaceful vibrations, alpha, beta, theta and gamma, so they say that the alpha, which is the most 8 CPS, 8 cycles per second, what is that vibration? That is alpha, beta, theta. Theta is low, gamma is low, maybe it's alpha or beta. Just see the meditation vibrations are maximum here, but then it goes into a vibrational state at times. That's what gives the peace of mind. And the normal vibrations, where you go to a school where there's meditation, you will get these vibrations in every yogshala and in every ashram to less or more degree, depending first upon the resident Sadguru, the core who is there, the center, and from him radiates. And then there's a fission and fusion with the Shivling, which is a part of the Sadguru. It interacts and brings about this whole peaceful atmosphere. This is the reason. And then all of you come, all like-minded people, all love God, all are practicing Kriya Yoga, all have the same type of thinking. And the common denominator is everybody is humble and picking up leaves. So all these similar activities bring about a very calm vibration in the ashram. This is the reason. Like-minded people and the resident Sadguru in perpetual Samadhi. Even now, his highest self, he is merged into his Atma. Buddhi is doing its job. Nididhyas, Satatabhyas, Nididhyas, to meditate and do dhyan constantly, so you bring the spiritual awareness into fragmented space-time events. So the spiritual events, spiritual awareness by Nididhyas and Samadhi of the Guru, the Sadguru, calms everything from the blade of grass to the sky, the air, the water, the birds, the bees, the trees. You and me are all, because he is in constant Samadhi. But Nididhyas, Satatabhyas of meditation must always be practiced. But with the Sadguru, he's brought his meditation into your day-to-day life. And so when you see him, when his meditation, when you see his meditation, you see the Guru's form is a Samadhi himself. When you see it, your thoughts disappear. You can try it every time, even now you see it, now it's disappearing. So this is what happens.
So Gurunath, and this state will help us heal ourselves also. It helps us in healing.
This is a state which heals you. Healing is the first stage. It's a byproduct of God and Samadhi. Samadhi is the main state which the Sadguru gives you, and healing is the tributary state, the by state, and the Sadguru is an embodiment of enlightenment and healing itself. So the most important thing, if you ask question or don't ask a question, the most important thing, if you want evolution, is sitting in the presence of the Master. But in spite of that, you want healing, although he is training you to God, and you want your stomach ache healed, you want the pain in your leg to go, there is a remedy: sitting in the presence of the Master. And then you have troubles in the family, your children or your husband is not believing, family is in disarray, you are the only one meditating. Instead of complaining to the Guru, do something practical at home, but the remedy here is sitting in the presence of the Master. Gurunath is sitting in the presence of the Master, a panacea for all ailments and illnesses and maladies. The answer is sitting in the presence of the Master is rightly so.
So Sadgurunath, can you please tell us about the Shivling at the ashram?
कहने को तो बहुत है. I mean, there's the Shivling at the ashram here. I had made with the assistance with a Himalayan yogi and with a yogi who had stayed in here amongst us in Madhya Pradesh and all these areas. And this yogi and myself, we sat down. The Shivling which is made in the temple is a mercury Shivling. So in the making of the Shivling is kept an occult secret amongst the Nath yogis and not publicly thrown out. That is sensible reasons also. But this Shivling is more than a ton. It's about 27 to 30 inches in height. And the benefits of the Shivling are that it is made of mercury, pure mercury consolidated. Like mercury rises in the thermometer, when you sit in meditation before the Shivling, your Kundalini energy also rises. A master who has a Shivling of this caliber with 22 sanskars, that is the 22 impressions, dharana, dhyan and samadhi, and of the alchemical processes of purifying and the alchemical and spiritual processes of meditating, a Shivling is formed called the Shivling of 22 sanskars, which is very rare. This depicts the steadiness of the yogi's mind, and only a yogi who is established in Samadhi can possess a Shivling of this size. This, to our known knowledge, is the biggest Shivling all over the world with 22 sanskars. ये एक ही अखंड पारसमणि है. Parasmani is the mercury gemstone. You can all go and see it. Just as your mind is agitated and you cannot catch hold of your mind, it is very tricky. It does not become still. It slips out of your grip of concentration. So also mercury slips out of your grip of concentration of a normal man. It is a symbol that a man who has steadied his mind, only a man who has steadied his mind and is established in Samadhi can steady the slippery mercury and transform it into Paradeshwar, into consolidated mercury. If you see mercury and try to catch it, it will always divide itself and run from here to there. It's known as Quecksilver in German, and Paras money in Sanskrit, also Parad, Paras. So it shows that a yogi, the resident master, is an enlightened master because the shivling is not perspiring or sweating and it's not dissolving. You have to hold it with your tap and your samadhi. If any Sadguru, say me, my samadhi is lessened or I cannot hold it, then the shivling starts perspiring. If I don't hold it more, it starts becoming smaller and dissolving. So this is another litmus test and a sign for the Sadguru, but other Sadgurus must have a shivling first. Others have it, but they don't keep it in the decorum, the demeanor and the respect with which I have kept my shivling. Other mercury is not kept in other places, but that's their lookout. But you can't make a showmanship out of it. You can't make a unnecessary mystery out of it. So this is very important. The shivling tells you the message that the yogi's mind is very steady, constant, still as the northern star, unmoving, unshakable, because he holds it by a higher state. He holds his dhyan by the higher state of samadhi. The samadhi always steadies your dhyan. Dhyan always steadies your dharana. Dharana always steadies your, or you can say the other way, that pranayam is held by pratyahar, pratyahar is steadied by dharana, dharana is steadied by dhyan, dhyan is steadied by samadhi, samadhi is steadied by enlightenment, and the Sadguru is the embodiment of enlightenment. This is the story of mercury. Of course, it has a lot of arsenic which is removed. It has contents of sulfur and arsenic and also silicon. These are materials which are by the by used. I am giving you a rough idea. And then lime is also used in the process of alchemy, in the consolidation. Jadi bhutis, mantras, lime in cold consolidation. There is a cold consolidation of mercury and a hard consolidation of mercury. Both the systems are separate. But since that is not your profession or that is not your goal, it is not necessary for me to go into the details. As a matter of fact, if you want to know more, I have gone into the details of the manufacture, of the making of mercury in my book, The Lightning Standing Still. Babaji, The Lightning Standing Still. You can read from there.
Definitely, Gurunath. We'll put the link for the book in the description as well.
For the public, yes. I have been asked to speak that when the Sadguru from his life's breath constructs the mercury, the higher portion of the mercury has in it his pran and his kundalini energy. It's all in the process of making the mercury and his no-mind state. The ultimate samskar, the 22nd samskar and beyond, which is given to the mercury by the Sadguru in consolidating and making the mercury, is the thought-free state of tranquil awareness of the Sadguru. That is his state of samadhi, and his lower state of pran pratishtha is infused, ingested into the mercury shivling which is over there. So in the absence of the mercury shivling, in the absence of the Sadguru, the mercury shivling is there to guide you and bless you as the grace of Lord Shiva.
So, Sadgurunath, one of our biggest fears is the fear of death. What is death?
They call me death and yet I take them to eternity. This paradox of ignorance deludes humanity. Death is just a transition of your Atma, your soul, from one dimension to another dimension. Death is just another form of life. That's all. Because we in Samadhi, we pass through the gates of death and we enter a new life awakening. To reduce the fear in the people of death, treat death as a normal day-to-day activity, as an evening walk or an evening stroll. If you keep your body healthy by proper diet, good exercise, then you can exit your body very casually. One lazy afternoon, I died in a meadow of daisies. Unto an undying awareness. Wherein did I become the lesser of by dying? I only left my outer coat in the meadow of daisies to enter into an eternal dawn undying. Poetry or something like that. So I just said it. It was like this. So that's how death comes to a natural yogi, to a healthy person. That's why to keep good physical and bodily health and have a proper diet is most vital to having a very joyful journey towards Samadhi and a very joyful journey towards death, which is but another form of life.
So why do we fear it so much, Gurnath?
We fear death because of three reasons. The first reason is an identity crisis. You lose your identity. Oh, I won't know that I'm me because I'll get lost in the huge ocean of the starry skies and I'll lose my bearings. I'll lose my ego because I have a mother, sister, father and brother. I have a lot of jewelry in my cupboard and I have a little ruby ring which I want to give to my granddaughter. When will all this happen, oh Lord? Let me not die because I give both my jewelry sets to both my daughter-in-laws. And then so much work. There are a lot of litigations. My land, I'm such a rich man. My land is left there. Such a beautiful land by the riverside. Ganga Kinare hai. I've got a ghat Ganga Kinare. At least my family's name should be there. Crooks have gone there. I have to chase them out. And I'm already 80 years old. Therefore, I fear death and I fear of losing my identity, my friends, my possession, my diamond, my jewelry, because I have the subconscious greed of possession in me. Therefore, my identity with those family members, my identity with the jewelry, my identity with the property is my identity, my ego. So it's an identity crisis. When I dissolve, I will lose my identity. First fear of death. Second fear of death is fear of the unknown. After death, what is there? Will I go into a big furnace of fire and people will punish me and aliens will come and torture me and the people of hell will knock the hell of the fear of the Satan in me? That is the fear of the unknown. What is there after death? Fear of the unknown. And the third cause of fear, which is very, very important to understand, the third cause of fear, more than death itself, is that some people have a great suffering before they go to death. That great suffering should be mitigated before you die, and that suffering is the result of your own making, your own karma. These are the three main causes of death. The three main remedies for death: take it sensibly, take it with courage. You will not lose your identity. There will be no identity crisis. When you merge into God, the drop you merges into the ocean of God. You say, oh, I'll lose my identity. My Mary Boond, my drop will be lost in the vast ocean. This is a truth, but only the half truth. When you go into the ocean, temporarily, yes, you may need to find your bearings, but in the ultimate story, when the drop of the soul merges into the ocean of Paramatma, when the drop of the Atma merges into the Paramatma, it does not lose its identity, but it takes of the vasta identity of Paramatma according to the degree of its realization as it spreads to span the whole vast reality of Paramatma. So that drop, the degree of your knowing God, you are God to the extent you know God. And to expand your extent, meditate deeper, practice Samadhi more. This is the first fear. So that identity crisis, you will not lose it, but partake of God nullifies the first fear. The second fear is the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown, do not fear death. You know death already. How shall you remove that? Tonight when you go to sleep, you are going into a temporary death. And when you go into sleep, you will experience total death because you lose your identity and your form. So also, when you go to a dreamless sleep, you lose your identity and your form. And you get up again and say, oh, what a lovely morning, lovely sunshine. What a lovely sleep I've had. Who says that you've had a lovely sleep when in the night you've lost your identity and your form? Your Atma, your soul says it, what a lovely night it was. So, you have experienced a minor death. The soul does not die. The soul is still alive till you experience death and wake up in the morning. You don't lose your identity, and it is like sleeping. So if you don't fear having a dreamless sleep every night, don't fear death. That is the solution to the next problem, your fear of death. First is the identity crisis, then fear of death. Third is the most difficult to tackle, which is that what if I get cancer while suffering? What if I have my intestines coming out from behind? What if I have an open gut surgery and my intestines are open and I am suffering? And what if I have a breathing problem? All these are there due to your karma. That portion can be mitigated. I don't guarantee it's totally solved, but that fear of suffering during death brought upon by your own karma can be mitigated. But if you are 30 to 40 years old, get down to sincere Kriya practice, get down to meditation, have faith in your Sadguru, because it is said in the ancient texts of Sanatan Dharma and Yoga that those who practice the inner pathway of peace and good health, even that suffering can be mitigated by practicing Kriya Yoga, meditation and Samadhi. So be of good cheer, take heart and march on, O ye brave soldiers of light.
Sadgurunath, there is literally war happening everywhere. Some people are saying maybe Third World War happens. And our scriptures say that there is the Kalki Avatar of Lord Vishnu is going to be coming. Is there a connection between the two? Are masters doing something to prevent the war?
This is a good question. The yogic mind thinks in a holistic manner. Of what I know and what I can experience, there is connection between everything and everything in the world. The whole world is holistic. No man is an island. If I throw in a big lake, a little stone, a pebble, the ripple effect will go far and wide into the world of the lake. So also, any disturbance anywhere on our planet is bound to affect positively or negatively or neutrally the whole world. Therefore, the beginning of this war, we are not going to discuss whether it is good or bad, but it's a reality in relativity. It's not a real reality in In the ultimate, but in relativity, a war is happening, a warlike situation, a world war-like situation will be created in future, but it is not so now. Okay. Now the great masters who rule the government are ruled by another inner government of the world, which rules the outer government of the world. And they have said, of what we know, that the Kalki was to come 300 years hence at the junction of Simbhasta Kumbh, but that the great masters and the people who are connected with Kal and Mahankal Shiva, those lofty beings meditating in the Himalayas and in the aurora borealis of the northern lights, have willed and accelerated the yogas and time. Now, due to this acceleration of time, by the intensity of concentration of the Himalayan rishis, the yugas have come closer. You can say it's like a time warp. But time, space and causation can be altered and changed by enlightened divine cosmic powers. Just like you can do with climate, you can do with space, you can do with time. Although it's beyond the power and ken of the normal human being, he doesn't believe it because he can't do it. But there are loftier beings than the normal human race who can accelerate time and causation. With that in view, it is said that the Kalki Avatar in his essence and his power has already incarnated. But the Kalki Avatar, there are little controversies here which I am trying to straighten out. The Kalki Avatar is to be born in a place called Sambal in Uttar Pradesh, near Uttarakhand. But he has taken birth, and it is said by certain prophecies that he is born in a place called Sambalpur in Odisha. Now, to match this, since there is a disturbance before his activity, he is born in Sambalpur and he will be present before the larger people, larger souls of this world, to heal, to cure and balance dharma on this earth. He will come in 2032, that is 8 years hence. Till then, the actual Sambal, which will be a place of activity, is located, and certain pandits and priests in temples have detailed maps of where exactly the Kalki will do his pran pratishtha and appear in his power. And that is in a place in Uttar Pradesh called Sambal, and the map is 1000 years old. But it is even older. It's in a triangle where Sambal is located, he said, the Pandit. It is between Ram Ganga and the Bhagirathi Ganga, exactly 36 kilometers either side. In the center will be where the Kalki will do his appearance, his Pragatikaran, Pragat hoga. It is very accurately said, and in the meantime, this political turmoil and turbulence will have stopped in 6 to 8 years. It can very well stop into 6 to 8 days or 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 8 months, any of this. So, he is coming to restore the dharma, the balance on this earth. What is meant by dharma? It is bringing into equilibrium the sattva, raja and tamogun of this earth, where people are of equanimity of mind and even temperament, and then after that his coming and the effort, he will remove the negativity, and this will be the appearance of the Satyug. Let me clarify one thing to you also, according to my understanding. In one Kali Yuga, there is a minor Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali. In that sub-cycle of Kali, there is another minor within that Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali. Till the last minute, till the last second, there is a Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali Yuga. Do you understand? So, which circle of duration of time he will come in, we have to see. It is not the cosmic Kali Yuga. Neither is it a Kali Yuga of the Devas or celestial beings. It is the human Kali Yuga which they are coming, and that too has been accelerated. Therefore, this can happen. Because for the divine, the reality, nothing is impossible. It is always said that impossible is written in the dictionary of fools. That's what Napoleon had said. But he couldn't wield time. Those who can wield time can do this. And so now, if the Kalki has come, we by our Kriya Yoga and meditating, our meditation, we are assisting in the work mentally to invoke his coming. He is also the Kali Yuga. In a mystic language, he comes from the spiritual solar orb. He is known as Sapta Sapti. He will come riding on a white horse. He is variously known as the second advent, the second coming of Christ. He is also known as Imam Mahdi, and in the Buddhist language, he is known as Maitreya Buddha, and we in India call him the Kalki Avatar. These are the various names, and the more you meditate, the more you will facilitate the work of balancing the peace and order on this earth. Before that, there shall be turmoil, there shall be havoc. The Middle East is a dangerous area where wars could break out, as you're seeing. But I feel that the masters can avert the world war. They can take it to a world war like situation, but there will be no world war. This is a message coming clear. There will be a world war like situation which will be quickly taken into control and mitigated, and there shall be peace on earth and goodwill to all mankind. Om Namah Shivaya. You must understand what we stand for. The soul cry of the Siddhanath Yoga Parampara, where you have come, is humanity is our uniting religion, breath our uniting prayer, and consciousness our uniting God. We also have a vision mission statement. The vision mission statement is, we the Hamsas are meditated to the furthering of human awareness. We the Hamsas are dedicated to serve humanity as our larger self. And we the Hamsas are devoted to new life awakening for earth peace healing through self peace healing. This is what is going to help and facilitate the coming of the Kalki Avatar. And please follow this, do Kriya Yoga sincerely and help in the divine work. Now, dear souls, dear Atmajan, drop all armor and inhibition. Come share my Samadhi. Come share my Samadhi. I am going to give you my thought-free state of tranquil awareness. I will go into a state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, thought-free state, no form. Those of you who are in tune with me shall receive this Samadhi to the extent of your attunement. The student is the mind, the master is the consciousness. If any mind is attuned to an undifferentiated consciousness, then that mind shall become that consciousness to the extent of its attunement with that consciousness. Get ready, drop all inhibitions, sit relaxed, just focus on the presence before you here. and be still. I enter my Samadhi, my Atma. I am now entering into your Buddhi, and you will get into thought-free state of tranquil Samadhi. Om Anandamanandakaraprasannam Jnanaswarupam Nijabodharupam Yogendra Midiyam Bhavarogya Vaidyam Srimad Gurum Nityam Maham Bhajami. Om. Now you're caught in the vortex, you can't move. Inhale love, hold love, and exhale love. Relax, stretch your feet and relax.
Thank you, Sadgurunath. It was, I don't have any words to express what this means, but all I can say is thank you so much on our behalf and everybody who's watching, to share with everyone what means the most to you. Thank you so much. And to the audience, I would like to say that all the information regarding the ashram, regarding all the courses, everything will be given. And if there's any more questions that you have, which I'm pretty sure you will, the best place is to come to the ashram, be a part of the Kriya Yoga seminar, and ask your questions and join the community. Thank you so much.